Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about charity and business and hard work. So basically charity, business and hard work. And why this is an important discussion, I think, or important topic to talk about is because it's one of the things that I've throughout my life struggled with. And it's one of the ways in which I've been deceived quite often. And so just to share this with you, especially young people going into business, and then also young people who like myself, come from a religious background, and where religion, tends to tell us a lot of the time, whether it's Islam or Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, or many other religions, emphasize the importance of giving charity. Okay? It is in giving that you receive, and etc. And how when you give charity, you basically are giving in something in the short term, something that is beneficial, maybe beneficial to someone in the short term, but your reward in the end is in the long term. You're in the year after, when you go, it'll help you, intercede for you so that you can go to heaven. And it's a means to purify your wealth. That is when you make an income and you give a portion of this income away, that it will purify your wealth. It will remove your attachment to it, in your heart, which is a bad thing in religion, to be attached to money. So the money should be in your hand but not in your heart. That sort of teachings, which is consistent basically in many religions, and Islam in particular, which is my religion. And so when I kind of grew up, with this teaching and this preaching, I developed certain misconceptions which proved negative. Okay, and that is, I started a business basically at a young age. I was a business owner at about 25 years old. And I basically was able to provide for my family, with Allah's help, through business. But my business suffered a lot. And one of the reasons why my business suffered a lot of setbacks was because of my charitable nature, my willingness to help people all the time. I'm not saying this with pride or arrogance, because I don't necessarily think it's a good thing, okay? But what would happen, is that I'd have this business, this internet cafe, and I was well known, and people would come to me for help constantly, for money, obviously, because I own a business, right? And so people make the assumption that you must be rich because you own a business, which is often not true. But anyway, I would help a lot of people with money constantly, not once or twice. I mean, not even once or twice a month, but 3, 4, 5 times in the month I would be helping people with money. Some people would return the money, some people would not. I would have to end up writing it off. A lot of the time I would write it off. So I was losing literally thousands, monthly, just by trying to help people who came to ask for help. Because I believe that, that if someone comes to you for help and you are able to help the person, that you should not turn the person away. That's what I believed. To some extent, I still believe that, but with some modifications, and this is what this video is about. Charity, business, and hard work, okay? So what I'm basically going to advise you, is that you should separate business from charity, okay? Which is a lesson that I learned the hard way, and which when I started implementing it, it helped me a lot, because it helped keep these people stop coming basically to ask for help, because I started saying no. Business is business, okay? When you are running a business, your goal is to make a profit. That's what matters. That's all that matters, okay? And then from your personal wealth, monthly or weekly. Uh, you give charity deliberately. What do I mean by that? You give charity to people that you believe are hardworking, and that just with a little bit of a push or a little bit of help in the right direction, or with a little bit of extra resources, that person would be able to be in a better position to look after his or her family, okay, or himself or herself. Those are the people that are more deserving of charity. So you find those people who are not going to be charity cases, okay? They're not going to be people that are in need of charity every month or every week. There are people that, they are too shy to ask for help. And this is the Quranic explanation of them also, that they do not ask for help, says the Quran, uh, out of shyness. Okay? So these are the people you go and look for these people, because they're not going to find you. They're not going to ask you. Okay? They are honorable people. They are hardworking people. They are trying hard, but for no fault of their own, they are suffering shortages in much needed things. These people you look for and you give them charity. Okay? If you are able to give them charity, give those people charity. And don't give other people charity. And this is my advice to you, because I have given away thousands upon thousands, of rands or reals or dollars, in my lifetime, to countless people I can't even keep track of, out of mistaken notions of charity, okay? Because of the wrong preaching. Not that Islamic preaching is wrong. Islamic preaching is right, but Islamic preachers are often wrong. Not understanding the broader context of charity, and thinking that whoever asks must be given. Okay, this is not right. Okay, we are not supposed to be helping beggars and losers, because I come to find out later on in life, by the way, that while I was working my butt off 12, 14 hours a day, trying to keep businesses afloat, and managing, people who work under me, and often paying my salary last, and sometimes not even myself getting paid, but having to pay my workers, and going through all these types of things, my own family sometimes needing to live on mealie meal. Mealie meal is like a type of a basic staple food for long periods of time without sugar and milk or anything, while I try to build a business, and while I make these sacrifices, so I have the rent and have the wages and have the... These same people that borrow money from me were living lives of luxury, eating meat every day when we could only eat meat once a month, the owner of the business, right? Eating, sitting on their butts at home watching TV all day, where the owner of the business that they were borrowing money from, right, could scarcely watch a movie in 1 month, did not have time for that, okay? And these kinds of things. So what I'm basically saying is that sometimes people who are prepared to ask for help, are people who live their lives by asking for help from other people. So they will chill, sleep late, watch TV, make sure they eat well, dress well even, right? Be unemployed, go out, and then go ask people for help. They have a network of people they ask for help, and then you might just be falling into their network. So charity again, right? You should actively give charity to people that you go and look for, right, who are not the ones that are going to ask you for help. That's it. And business, you keep business completely separate from charity. When you do business hard, you negotiate for the best prices, you make sure you get paid your full measure, you don't give discounts to people because they say that they can't afford things. If they can't afford it, let them go away, okay? Let them go away because they can't afford it, because you're running a business. In the end, you need to pay your rent, you need to make the bottom line, and these people who rely on charity from many people. They will go to other people and ask them to, okay? And they almost never pay back the money they borrow, okay? Which, by the way, you should see that as a blessing in disguise. I kind of figured that out. What I would do sometimes is someone would come and try to borrow money from me, and I'd give him maybe 100 rand. 100 rand isn't a lot. Well, for me at the time, 100 rand, I didn't consider 100 rand to be much. If what he said was he needed so much more, and I gave him 100, I said, here's 100 rand. Good luck. But I wouldn't give it to him as charity. I would give it to him on loan, right? He has to pay me back. Now, what he would do is he would have no intention to pay me back, and I know that he has no intention to pay me back. In my heart, I know he has no intention to pay me back. But what this would do is it would get rid of him. Okay, he takes the 100 rand, he goes, he's gonna dodge me for the rest of his life, and that suits me perfectly. Okay, I'll see him. He'll walk the other way. He'll dodge me for the rest of his life. From until 60, he'll be dodging me, right? Over what? 100 rand? It's not worth it, right? As far as I'm concerned, it's not worth it. But that's would be his case, and that would be better for me, because if that wasn't the case, he would become a burden. Okay, he would be in my shop every time trying to get something. So sometimes that's another trick you could use. Just don't give charity, but demand that they pay you back, and they won't, but you'll be rid of them. Okay, so that's another trick you could use. So you work hard. Your hard work reaps rewards, with Allah's help and permission and decree, biqudratillah, as we'd say. And the poor do have a right over you. When you have, those who have should share of the wealth with those who don't have. That is the preaching and teaching of religion. Basically, most religions teach that and preach that. But you have to uplift people who are deserving, and not people who are leeches on society, and people who refuse to be productive in their own lives and then want to rely on productive, hardworking people for handouts. Okay? Those people we should not be helping. And so the one other aspect of this that I would want to bring in is also when it comes to governance and governments. A lot of governments fall prey to this through their various social security systems and grants that they give. There are so many people just living off of the government. Okay, they go and collect their monthly grants, and they sit at home and do nothing because their food is covered, and then they rely on handouts from other people for everything else. You get those types of people. Okay, governments should not be giving these people anything. Okay, that's my honest opinion. I have come to realize that we should have no sympathy for people who refuse by their own free will to be productive, to find a job if they don't have a job, to do something, okay, to leave the home even if they don't have a job, to go and look, for a job, or try to help somewhere where they could get some form of payment for their labor. Okay, that is honorable. That is the honorable thing to do. But there are many dishonorable people in the world, and these people we should not be helping. Not only will they bring you down, they bring down communities, they bring down countries. They breed crime, by the way. Many of these types of people, because the devil speaks to idle minds, they are the same people who breed crime, whose children grow up to be drug addicts and gangsters, and who themselves are, extremely sinful people. A lot of them, and I've experienced this a lot, I know exactly what I'm talking about. They're the same people who have kids from 9 different men, okay? They are the same people who, men who have like 15, 20 kids all over the show because he sleeps around. He sleeps till 12 o'clock, gets up, and then goes and sleep around with lots of other people who like him or just sitting around and doing nothing. Then collects government grants, collects money for each and every one of the children, or those women collect money for each and every one of the children that she has, and that's how she lives. So she lives through her womb, basically. She just has sex all the time with different people, and then different men, falls pregnant, doesn't know who the fathers are of these children, but because they are children and they are citizens of the country, they get grants from the government, and then they use this money to further a drug habit, and so on, and then beg other people who feel sorry for them to look after their children, etc. Okay, we should really rethink these things, how we go about it. Government should not be helping them. People must learn to take responsibility, and if they don't want to learn, they should be forced to learn to take responsibility. Thank you very much.